My name is Isaac Kisimba. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Congolese community of New South Wales. We are here today to voice our voice to the Australian government. We are at the Canberra Parliament. There are many people who drove all the way from New South Wales, Queensland, all the states, Perth, Victoria. They are all here to voice the voice of what is happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We are here to condemn the M23 who have been supported by the Rwandan government. We are here to voice that the Congo war has been there for over 3 decades. People have died, thousands of people died in this war. Paris. So we're here to make sure that the Australian government take a step.
Bonjour, mon nom c'est Lulu Mireille Michabou. Je suis ici en Australie, ça fait au moins 34 ans que je suis ici. Mais aujourd'hui, je suis devant le Parlement australien en train de protester pour la cause du Congo. Donc, tous les mamans, tous les papas sont derrière vous et nous continuons à penser à vous et nous sommes ensemble. We are together, we work together, we are advocating for the Congolese people. Tunakaa hapa kumiombea na kuombea Congo pour avancer, pour que le pays puisse avancer, qu'il y ait la paix au Congo, kukwe peace au Congo. Merci beaucoup et nous sommes ici en Australie en train de faire le rallye pour notre pays.
Jambo wasikilizaji wapenzi, hapa ni Mama Charlotte, umoja wa viongozi wa communauté congolaise ku state yetu ya Queensland. Tulikuya leo hapa kumanifeste kwa ajili ya hiyo mambo yako napita huko kwetu. Atufurahi kabisa na mambo yenye M23 kunafanya pamoja na Kagame na wote ambao wako nyuma yake. Na ndio maana tuko hapa ku parlement siku ya leo. Tunatamani ba parlementaire batusikie, gouvernement ya Australia tusikie. Tuko hapa kwa ajili yenu wa ndugu yetu, atuwaache, tuko pamoja na nyinyi.
Kama tuko hapa leo, sisi tunaishi Australia na siku ya leo tariki 25 ya mwezi wa 3 2005 tumekuja kwa ajili ya kusimama, kwa sababu tunajua umoja ni nguvu, kwa ajili ya nchi yetu ya Kongo, kwa mauaji ambayo yanayoendelea, mauaji kutoka Rwanda. Kwa hiyo tuko hapa, tuko ku parliament ya Australia, panaitwa Canberra, ndio kwenye tumekuja kwa ajili ya kufanya manifestation, kuleta malalamiko yetu kwa ajili ya watu wetu wenye wako wanakufa huko nyumbani. Havijatufurahisha ndugu zetu, hata kama sisi tuko huku mbali, lakini hatulali. Tunapoona kinachoendelea nyumbani, sisi hatuna furaha, japokuwa tunalala tunakunywa, lakini hatufurahi kwa sababu ndugu zetu wanakufa kila siku, wanaumia kila siku. Kwa hiyo tuko hapa kumalalamiko. Tunajua haya malalamiko yetu, serikali ya Australia na ulimwengu mzima wanatuona, japokuwa wanajifanya kama hawasikii, lakini wanatuona na hatutachoka na malalamiko. Tutaendelea tu kulalamika. Na pia tunapenda kuambia ndugu zetu, tuko pamoja, hatutaachana. Japokuwa tuko mbali, lakini tuko pamoja. Tutaendelea kushirikiana kwa pamoja, mkono kwa mkono. Mwe wenye mko huko kutere, mkaze nguvu, tunashiwo huku tunaendelea kusimama. Kwa hiyo tunawaomba msimame, na pia ombi langu kwa Wakongomani tusimame. Tusimame tafadhali. Hakuna mtu mwenye atakuja kukusukulia nyumba yako kama mwenye hutaki kuisukula. Hakuna mtu mwenye atakia kusaidia familia yako kama hautaki kuisaidia. Tuna tabia mara kwa mara kwa kusema mimi nimeshaenda, wale wenye wamebaki watajijua. Tuache tabia kama hiyo. Wakongomani wote ambao wako nje ya nchi na wenye wako ndani ya nchi, tusimame, tusaidiane sisi kwa sisi. Kama tukusaidiana, tusizanie kwamba kuna msaada ambao tutapata. Wote ni kutuflate tu, lakini tujaribu kusimama. Umoja ni nguvu, udhaifu ni matengano. Asanteni.
I will be saying something in the Senate later today about the Congolese diaspora, Australian Congolese community coming here in front of Parliament House to make your voices heard for your community, but also for the people of the DRC. The people of the DRC deserve the right to live in peace. Yes. The people of the DRC deserve the right to have the benefit of their own minerals. The minerals of the DRC should not be there for the exploitation of outsiders in a fraudulent, evil process which amounts to national theft from the people of the DRC. Yes. The women and young girls of the DRC deserve the right to live in peace. Yes. Without rape being used against them as a weapon of war. Yes. And it is incumbent upon all freedom-loving countries around the world, including Australia, to make our voices heard and to put pressure on those national actors, including Rwanda, who are involved in the DRC and are supporting, both militarily and otherwise, the M23 rebel movement. Yes. I will be referring in the Senate to the report to the United Nations Security Council dated 27 December 2024. Yes. And this was the report referred to by your community in your letter to the Australian government. Yes. I have read this report. Thank you. It continues to provide damning evidence of the involvement of foreign actors in the violence occurring in the DRC and of the unlawful exploitation and theft of DRC resources, including resources which are being taken to Rwanda and which are being intermingled with other resources. This is theft. This is theft from the people of the DRC, and it must stop. It must stop. We know over the last 3 months there has been unacceptable violence in the eastern part of the DRC. There are now approximately 7 million displaced peoples from the DRC, 25 million suffering from hunger, and a situation which cannot be allowed to continue. Of course. So the world must continue, and Australia must play its part in terms of applying pressure on the government of Rwanda and upon other governments to stop interfering. Stop interfering in the DRC and to enable the people of the DRC to live in peace and to harness the benefit of their resources for the people of the DRC, not for outsiders. So I call upon our government to read this report of 27 December 2024, to read this report and raise our concerns on the national stage with respect to what is happening in the DRC. Thank you. Lastly, I want to give my heartfelt support to our Australian Congolese community. This community means a great deal to me. Thank you. And as was said, I did read a letter onto Hansard from the women of the Congolese community in my home state of Queensland to make sure their voices were heard. And the emotion, the heartbreak, the concern leaves a lasting impact. Leaves a lasting impact. So I want to also call upon the Australian government to support our Congolese diaspora, understanding that when atrocities occur in the DRC, it has an impact. It has an impact on the diaspora here in Australia. It has an impact on the diaspora here in Australia. And lastly, I want to thank all of you for coming to Canberra, for making sure your voices are heard. And it is now my obligation to make sure your voices go on the record of our national parliament for the people of all Australia to hear.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator. We, as the Congolese community of Australia, prepared a memo, and this is a copy. It's got a reference behind there. So please, we would love to have that memo read to the Australian government. It is a painful way of us saying thank you for the Australian government for showing your gratitude for being here. But there's millions and millions of people suffering in the DRC, and we want the Australian government to do something about it, to act on it, and also to provide some funding to the Australian government, to the Australian community that are here, that are suffering because of these issues that happen in the Congo. But thank you very much for coming here. She's saying even though the country can be in war, she hasn't seen war that goes for 30 years of killing innocent people.
Ata mtoto kidogo banamutwanga mukitwangio, mtoto bebe bana mutwanga mukitwangio.
And the victims are women, even those who are pregnant. They're dismantling the young kids, the toddlers.
Bananyangula mtoto banapika kibambasha na pasuka.
They take a little baby and smash their heads on the
na maiti haina na mana banazola banatupa mumai.
And even the corpses are not buried honestly, they just throw them in the river.
Sasa tunalomba,
and we are asking,
tunafika hapa tunaona peace.
We came here and we saw peace.
Tunaona amani,
and we saw peace.
Watoto wetu banafunda.
Our children are studying.
Sasa mubebeko hatua mtusaidie.
Please take the responsibility to help us, to give us a helping hand.
Hata kama banakimbia mainchi, banakimbia ma refuge, banenda kumakambi, banenda Kenya, banenda Tanzania, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, banayala banabayengia tuburi sasa kama banakufa banabajika.
There's many people, many refugees in those countries like in Malawi, Uganda, Kenya. There's a lot of them in refugee camps.
Na hakuna fashi.
And there's no more space.
Hakuna chakula.
There's no food.
Bakufa, beko na kufa.
Some are dying.
Abajali.
And nobody cares.
Kagame anachofa yona beba mukini village moya kwa moya.
Kagame is destroying a village after another.
Mukini moya kwa moya anabeba.
One city after the other.
Sasa bantu babakie bila mukini.
How are people going to live without a city, without a place to stay?
Bantu bende wapi?
Where will people go?
Manake Congo ikufe.
Do you want people in Congo to die?
Bakongole bote bakwe ba refugee.
Displace all the Congolese in the Congo.
Congo ibakie jua minere.
So that the Congo can be empty for people to come and
manake ibakie pori.
So that they can stay like a bush.
Inekalakako.
Is that possible, Senator?
Mungu anapatia kila batu mipaka ya nchi yapo.
God has given people places and borders to live in.
Mbona beko na tambuka border aina mara ya kwanza miaka 13.
For 30 years they've been crossing those borders to cross into Congo.
Bati juba Wacongomani banazala batoto bengi.
And it's fortunate because Congolese are having many children.
Batoto 13, mwanamke moja, batoto 10. That's why uko naona nchi ngani.
Because there's a lot of Wazalendos who are standing for the Congo. That's why you can see that Congo still exists.
Njo ile tunaomba, please.
That is only what we ask.
Australia.
For the Australian government.
Country of peace.
The country of peace.
Say something,
country of
I don't even know how to express myself.
Sasa tunaomba mshimame kumtusaidie.
I want you to stand up and help.
Hii maneno imalizike.
Let these conflicts finish.
Nyuma ya hii mambo kuko bantu bengi sana.
Behind these conflicts there's a lot of people.
Mtusaidieko.
Please help us.
Asante sana kutushikia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We know your time is very appreciating to see you here today. There's only one thing I wanted to add to what Mama Street has said. There's something that we have noticed, as many of us, we have so many displaced family members in different neighboring countries, refugee camps. We've heard the minister or the assistant minister came earlier and mentioned that the humanitarian aid from Australia goes to the UNHCR. We want to mention that some of our relatives that have been displaced, they are not given food. Now it's left to our responsibility for those that we know where they are, for us to be able to support them wherever they are. They are not receiving anything. So we have people that have been in refugee camps for years and years and years. We are pleading to the Australian government to help us bring our people to Australia. Please resettle some of our family members that are dying in refugee camps. There's no food. They don't have proper shelters. And we all know many of us lived in tents. That's where we live. Those were our shelters. But in Australia, we know there's something that is important, the Maslow hierarchy of need: shelter, water, and food. We are requesting these simple needs for our Congolese people. Thank you very much for your time. Some of them are not.
Yes, some of them are not the real ones. They are running from their country, from Rwanda. They say they are Congolese.
Here, Papa. It is true. We are left with the responsibility to feed them.
They remain behind. They are suffering in the country. Yes.
But the fake ones, if I can say fake, they come in the name of Congolese. We want government, when you give resettlement, please help to check very well who is the real one, who is the real refugee to come in Australia. Because our people, they are suffering in the camp. They are coming. Even if you ask them one of our language in Congo, they don't know.
They don't know, yes.
They don't know. I work in Multicultural Australia in Queensland. My job is to go and welcome those people. But most of them, they are Rwandese in the name of Congolese. Yes. We want you to pay attention on that. We don't say it's all of them, but some of them, they come straight from Rwanda and they say they are Congolese.
I've met a couple of them.
Yeah, while real Congolese, they are suffering in the camp.
Yes.
We want you to help us to help our people from the camp. Thank you very much, Senator Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Senator, just 1 minute. To add on what Mama just said, I come from Newcastle, and I work as a refugee migration worker. I receive a lot of refugees who claim to be Congolese, and some of them tell me I'm from Uvira. I am from Uvira, and I ask him, which part of Uvira are you from? He doesn't know. He can't even speak our language. The only language he speaks is English and Kinyarwanda. So this is typical example of the people that Australia is resettling here as Congolese. They are not. Some of them are, but majority of those who are coming are from Rwanda, directly from Rwanda. The Congolese people are left behind in Uganda camps, in Malawi, everywhere. Whereas those in Rwanda, and I want you to note this, that when you see Congolese refugees coming from Rwanda refugee camp, like Kibuye camp, like Ruhengeri camps, those camps in Rwanda, they are fake Congolese refugees. Okay, so they are Rwandans who are being, who are being given to the UNHCR to come as they are refugees from Congo, while they are not. I've seen them. I work with them, and when I dismantle them, when I discover that they are not real Congolese, they run away. They will never come to enjoy our service again. So I want you to know this and mention it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Senator, I'll let to add something very little. It's about two families are going through a lot at the moment in Australia here. With the killing in DRC, those families need Australian government support. Please, it's something that we need to consider. We need to be more proactive and make sure families around Australia are just getting that support. Congolese families are suffering a lot.
My name is Future D. Fidel, the president of the Congolese community of Queensland, and I want to thank every single Congolese who has come here today to manifest and to do a rally for peace. We believe this is the first step, and we will continue to push, continue to budge on the Australian government to let them know that when they're making decisions, they should think about the security and the war that's been going on in Congo for more than 30 years. And we continue to ask for the international committee to also take action. Our aim today was simply to come and let the Australian government know that we need for them to influence for a ceasefire in the DRC. What's been happening in the Congo for many years, for more than 30 years, people have been dying with everybody keeping quiet. So for that's the reason why we're here. And you can see behind me, these are the Congolese members of Australia who have come together to pass on that message to the Australian government. Thanks to all the leaders. So we want to thank, and also for next time we want to encourage all the other leaders to join, because if anything happens in the Congo, it's our responsibilities as leaders to stand up to raise our voices together as one community. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, wazalendo, yeah, bana Congo, telema na force, toko bunda tina suka, tozali bankoi, mabele na biso, eza yaba ancestras, banya wanda na nanga bakoya kasi toko tika bangote. Wazalendo wazashu debu tokangi mboka tozali makasi banyama bakoya kasi tokobunda na motema moko Kongo mboka na biso.
Habari za muda huu mpendwa mtazamaji wa Tanganyika TV. Kwa jina naitwa Suzana Mbokile, natokea kitengo cha biashara na manunuzi hapa Tanganyika TV. Nipende kuchukua fursa hii kukaribisha hewe mfanyabiashara kutangaza biashara yako pamoja nasi. Maana katika ulimwengu huu wa sasa, media kama Tanganyika TV ndio mahara pekee ambapo unaweza kukuza na kuendeleza biashara yako. Haijalishi ni biashara ipi unayofanya, ina mtaji mkubwa au mdogo. Tanganyika TV inaweza kukuweka karibu na wateja wako na kukuza manunuzi ya bidhaa zako unazouza. Hebu fikiria, hata vikundi vya maendeleo tunawezaje kuendelea bila kujitangaza? Karibu utangaze nasi, hewe mfanyabiashara, mjasiriamali, mwanamuziki, wanasiasa na wengine wote, karibuni sana sana sana. Unaweza kuwasiliana nasi kupitia namba zetu za ofisi zilizopo hapo chini. Hata kama una matangazo, Tanganyika TV tunaweza kukutengenezea, kwa sababu tuna wafanyakazi na madirector wabobezi waliobobea katika shughuli za video production na graphic design.
Tanganyika TV, kwa pamoja tukupashe.